Elvis Presley's funeral was more than a somber goodbye. It was a moment that captivated the world, shrouded in both heartbreak and mystery. Thousands of mourners gathered, their grief palpable, as whispers of untold stories rippled through the crowd. Beyond the surface of the grand arrangements and famous attendees lies a web of fascinating secrets, details that were never meant to come to light. What really happened behind the scenes of this historic farewell? Prepare to uncover the unexpected truths that still leave fans speechless to this day. Elvis Presley's passing sent shockwaves across the globe, leaving fans in a state of disbelief that their beloved king of rock and roll could be gone. The news spread like wildfire, and an air of sorrow hung heavy as people struggled to grasp the magnitude of the loss. Streets were filled with weeping fans, while radios and televisions played his music on repeat, a haunting reminder of a voice that had forever changed music. As plans for his funeral began to take shape, the world held its breath, waiting for one final chance to say goodbye to the man who had captured their hearts and redefined an era. In a decision that stunned many, Elvis's family allowed for a public viewing of his body at Graceland, transforming the iconic estate into the epicenter of collective mourning. Tens of thousands of fans poured through the gates, some traveling for days just to stand in line. The atmosphere was electric with emotion. Tears flowed freely, and the silence among the crowd was broken only by the occasional gasp or whispered prayer. The grandeur of Graceland became a stark contrast to the raw grief of the fans, as the world witnessed an unprecedented farewell to one of its brightest stars. The scene was both heart-wrenching and surreal, leaving an indelible mark on all who were there. Behind closed doors, the private funeral service brought together a select group of family, friends, and industry legends. The air was heavy with solemnity, as heartfelt eulogies painted a picture of Elvis not as an icon, but as a son, a friend, and a man whose humanity often remained hidden beneath his stardom. The ornate arrangements and carefully chosen hymns spoke to the depth of his legacy, while the grief-stricken faces of those in attendance revealed the void his passing had left behind. Though the details of the service were shielded from public view, whispers of its emotional weight and poignant moments continued to ripple through those who had the privilege to attend. The announcement of Elvis Presley's death sent a ripple of grief that spanned the globe, uniting millions in a shared sense of loss. Fans from every corner of the world expressed their sorrow through candle-lit vigils, tearful gatherings, and heartfelt tributes. Streets overflowed with mourners, while flowers and letters piled high outside Graceland's gates, a visual testament to the profound connection people felt with the king of rock and roll. The media captured the moment with a mix of reverence and sensationalism, amplifying the emotions of an already grieving public. Headlines and broadcasts told the story of a world in mourning, as millions struggled to comprehend how someone so larger than life could suddenly be gone. Elvis's passing was not just the end of an era, it became a catalyst for reflection on his towering influence in the music industry. Artists and industry leaders alike paused to acknowledge the indelible mark he left on rock and roll and popular culture. Tributes poured in from musicians inspired by his groundbreaking style, while record sales soared, reaffirming his timeless appeal. But his death also served as a turning point, prompting discussions about the pressures of fame and the toll it takes on even the most iconic figures. Decades later, his music, style, and charisma continue to resonate, proving that Elvis's influence transcends generations and remains as vital as ever. Elvis's burial at Graceland marked the conclusion of a deeply emotional chapter for his fans, but it was far from a final goodbye. His resting place has become a sacred site for those seeking to connect with his legacy, drawing countless pilgrims each year. From intimate personal moments to large-scale memorial events, the grounds of Graceland continue to echo with the devotion of those whose lives were touched by his music. The finality of his grave contrasts with the enduring vibrancy of his influence, making every visit a bittersweet reminder of the man who forever changed the world of entertainment. While the world mourned Elvis Presley's passing, an intense and complex operation unfolded behind the scenes to orchestrate his final farewell. The planning of his funeral was fraught with logistical challenges, as organizers grappled with how to manage the sheer volume of fans flocking to Graceland. Security teams worked tirelessly to ensure the safety of the mourners while maintaining the sanctity of the event. For Elvis's family and closest friends, the emotional toll was overwhelming. Balancing their personal grief with the responsibility of honoring a public icon added a layer of strain to an already heartbreaking moment. Behind the polished facade of the proceedings lay untold stories of sleepless nights, hurried decisions, and the unshakable desire to give the king of rock and roll the farewell he deserved. The media's spotlight on Elvis's death turned his funeral into one of the most heavily reported events of its time. Television networks interrupted their regular programming to cover the proceedings, while newspapers across the globe dedicated entire issues to the king's legacy. The public's hunger for every detail fueled a frenzy, with journalists scrambling to capture the somber spectacle and the emotional tributes pouring in. This coverage not only shaped how the world viewed Elvis in his final moments, but also solidified his image as an enduring cultural icon. Yet, amidst the outpouring of respect, the relentless nature of the media also exposed the stark contrast between public adoration and the privacy his grieving family desperately sought. Amid the grandeur and media spectacle, deeply personal stories emerged from those who shared an intimate connection with Elvis. Close friends and collaborators spoke of quiet, reflective moments at the service, where memories of the man they knew, not the legend, came to the forefront. Behind the scenes, emotional anecdotes painted a picture of a man whose warmth and charisma touched everyone he met. From heartfelt eulogies to whispered farewells, these private moments revealed a side of Elvis that only a select few had the privilege to see. These recollections, often overshadowed by the public mourning, serve as a poignant reminder of the deep humanity behind the superstar persona. Elvis Presley wasn't just a musician. He was a revolution that redefined the very essence of popular music. His unique ability to blend gospel, blues, country, and rock and roll created a sound that shattered barriers and brought people together in ways never seen before. His voice, equal parts raw power and heartfelt emotion, became the blueprint for countless artists who followed. After his death, the music industry faced an undeniable void, yet it also experienced a resurgence of inspiration. Musicians across genres found themselves reflecting on his groundbreaking contributions, channeling his influence to push creative boundaries and keep his legacy alive in every strum of a guitar and every soulful lyric. Elvis's influence transcended music, embedding itself into the very fabric of culture. He redefined masculinity with his effortlessly cool style, slicked back hair, tailored jumpsuits, and iconic moves that became symbols of rebellion and charisma. His forays into film showcased his versatility, while his philanthropic efforts highlighted his compassion, endearing him to millions. Even decades after his passing, Elvis remains a symbol of the American dream, embodying the idea that talent, determination, and authenticity can propel anyone to greatness. His image continues to grace everything from posters to fashion collections, proving that his impact is as much about who he was as it is about what he created. Though Elvis has been gone for decades, his presence feels as alive as ever. His music continues to top charts, his Graceland estate draws fans from around the world, and his life remains a source of endless fascination. Documentaries, biopics, and tribute concerts remind us of his enduring relevance, keeping the king's spirit firmly rooted in the present. Generations who never experienced his heyday firsthand are discovering his brilliance, ensuring his legacy remains timeless. Whether it's a young artist inspired by his groundbreaking sound or a lifelong fan revisiting their favorite album, Elvis's name continues to resonate as a global phenomenon. proving that legends truly never die. If you enjoyed this dive into the untold stories and fascinating details, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more captivating content. Don't forget to like this video if it kept you hooked, and we'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. What moments or details surprised you the most? Let's keep the conversation going. And of course, feel free to share this video with fellow fans who would love to uncover these intriguing insights.